Encrypted directives: master and implement the teachings of Neville Goddard. Unleash the ability to revel in the fruits of your imagination that align with your desires. Have you pondered the formidable influence of imagination on our existence? Prepare to delve into the vast potential of imagination and its transformative impact on our thought processes and actions. We aim to delve into a fascinating exploration of how imagination aids in pinpointing our aspirations and absolving our transgressions. Fear not, actionable strategies will be imparted, empowering you to harness this potential in your day-to-day endeavors, thereby reshaping your reality. Embark with us on a voyage of introspection and contemplation, delving deeper into our aspirations and self-concept. By the journey's end, you might unearth resolutions to your dilemmas and inner turmoil, heightening your awareness of your life's true calling. Seize this chance to tap into the dynamism of imagination. It's imperative to view the entire video for a comprehensive grasp of the teachings. Bear in mind, knowledge is an invaluable asset that remains yours forever, and proactive steps are the cornerstone of actualizing learned concepts. Begin to put these insights into practice today. Subscribe for ongoing access to life-altering material and share your journey and insights in the comments. We extend our gratitude to all. At the cusp of spiritual mastery, we first encounter the force of imagination. Guided by Abdullah's wisdom and personal revelations, I recognized Jesus as the emblem of imagination's advent in humanity. The litmus test for the Christ consciousness within is the capacity to pardon misdeeds, essentially aligning oneself or another with their life's purpose. Absent this alignment, forgiveness remains elusive. The act of aligning with our objectives affirms the awakening of Christ within, irrespective of logical or sensory opposition. Yet, yielding to mere facades signals the absence of this awakening. Although these notions may jolt or challenge, they are pivotal to an enriched comprehension of Christianity as an intentional life stance. Through mystical insights and empirical experiences, these theories have been interpreted within the deeper realms of consciousness. Echoing Jesus' words, "Not one stone here will be left on another, every one will be thrown down," it is reassuring to acknowledge that my experiences stem from my thought patterns. As I alter my perception, my reality invariably shifts. The world dons diverse masks corresponding to our conscious states. Our perception when fused with a particular state is obscured once that fusion dissipates. By state, we imply all that an individual deems and accepts as factual. No concept can materialize without the mind's endorsement. It is the mind's acceptance of the state with which it identifies that molds our perceived reality. Our world is an exposition of the states intertwined with our imagination. It is our thoughts within these states that delineate our lived reality. The affluent and the needy, the virtuous and the rogue, their identities are sculpted by their inherent states, from which arises the distinction in their respective worlds. The divergences between their worlds lie within the same realm. Rather than contrasting actions, it's the perspectives that warrant comparison. Superficial reforms falter without an internal transformation. Triumph is not confined to restricting outward conduct but nurtured through proper interactions and mental dialogues. Extricating ourselves from a particular state can dissolve the associated conditions instantaneously. This principle was evident during an autumnal encounter in 1933 in New York when I approached Abdullah with a quandary. His inquiry was straightforward: "What is your desire?" I expressed my wish to winter in Barbados, despite being penniless. Abdullah advised, "Envision yourself in Barbados, perceiving the world from that reality rather than contemplating Barbados from afar. The mental state of being in Barbados, cultivated by your imagination, will forge the means for its fruition." We navigate life by committing to unseen states, blending our imagination with the unfamiliar, and from this synthesis, we experience the resultant realities. One relinquishes what they possess only by disengaging from the state that gives it life. Abdullah instructed, "Visualize yourself within the fulfilled desire, and slumber with the vision of Barbados before you." The world as we observe should mirror our self-referential descriptions. Our imagination is the bridge to the desired state, yet it must be wielded actively, not as an onlooker envisaging the outcome but as an active participant living from the outcome. Embody your goal within your imagination. By doing so, your inner experiences will manifest into tangible reality. This isn't idle musing, as he professed. Embrace this approach as the clandestine essence of living from the outcome. Every state exists as a potential when you think from it, yet it becomes compellingly tangible when you do so. Living from the outcome is the Christ method. I commenced by anchoring my thoughts beyond sensory confines, fostering a sense of presence in Barbados, perceiving my world from this standpoint. Abdullah stressed the importance of the mental state one entertains while descending into slumber. Prophets concur that divine guidance is bestowed upon man through dreams. For nights thereafter, I reclined into sleep with the conviction of resting in my familial home in Barbados. Within a month, a letter from my brother arrived, beckoning for a family reunion over Christmas, inclusive of a steamship ticket to Barbados. Post-haste, I embarked and savored an idyllic winter in Barbados. This episode solidified my belief in man's potential to embody any desired existence. Continually envisioning the end result dissolved my tendency to fault external circumstances. My fortunes and misfortunes rest solely within my purview. Our perspective, which dictates how events unfold and manifest, hinges on the state from which we perceive the world. Man exercises his liberty through the selection and inhabitation of his chosen conceptions, albeit not always judiciously. An array of potential states lies in wait for our selection and occupation, yet mere logic cannot substitute for a consciousness imbued with value. The imaginative vision is the sole quest of significance. The paramount goal of imagination is to instill within us the spirit of Jesus, characterized by perpetual absolution and unwavering alignment with our ideals. Only through self-alignment with our objectives can we pardon our own deviations. All else is futile effort. As we project our imagination into any state, our physical presence invariably follows suit. The scriptural promise stands, "In my Father's house are many mansions, if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." By inhabiting my Father's dwelling in my imagination as though physically present, I fused with that state and inevitably actualized it in the corporeal realm. The vividness of this state could permit visibility within my Father's abode to any perceptive observer. One's presence in imagination is their true location, for imagination embodies their essence. My personal testament confirms this, having been perceived by those I intended, despite the physical distance. Through the fervor of my imagination and sentiment, visualizing myself in Barbados rather than merely pondering it, I traversed the Atlantic, compelling my brother's longing for my presence, thus shaping our Christmas gathering. The philosophy of living from the end, in the sensation of my wish realized, catalyzed every subsequent event, from the impetus behind my brother's invitation to the unfolding of consequent realities. If those recounting such narratives did not indulge in dreams, we'd have to redraft our chronicles. For all individuals, particularly those of imaginative bent, must perpetually weave enchantments, and the quiet dreamers, devoid of dominating self-interest, must continuously envision the consummation of their desires. Living from the end heralds the inception of wonders. I aspire to instill a profound belief in such marvels, though miracle is merely a term ascribed by the uninitiated in the workings of imagination to its outcomes. To immerse oneself in the sentiment of an accomplished wish is to step into a novel state, bestowing it with the essence of reality. As Hermes posited, all that is revealed is alive, past and future alike are vibrant, animated by the eternal dynamism of the divine. The future must transmute into the present within the imagination of the enlightened, who consciously craft their circumstances. The imagination must concentrate on a particular state and perceive the world from that vantage. Living from the end is the keen awareness of the world as if the wish has been fulfilled. Such a perspective is the essence of a creative existence. Unawareness of this ability to live from the end is tantamount to bondage, the fundamental shackles binding humanity. Succumbing passively to the tangible reality discredits the inner self's capabilities. Accepting the principle of living from the end as a creative force offers a partnership in creation. Thus, he is liberated from the folly of aiming to achieve his objectives by sheer contemplation alone. Shape every outcome in the mold of the desired reality. Existence is nothing more than the quenching of our cravings, and the boundless states of awareness from which one can perceive the world serve merely as vehicles to satiate these cravings. The underlying drive of each state is a kind of yearning, elevating the pursuit for personal fulfillment to loftier echelons of existence. Desire propels the gears of the mind. It is a virtuous thing, a just and innate yearning that finds its rightful culmination in a corresponding state of consciousness. Nevertheless, there is one thing I pursue, casting aside what lies behind and stretching forward to what lies ahead. I continue my quest towards the goal. One must possess a direction in life. Lacking it, we meander aimlessly. What is it that you seek from me? This is the recurrent, underlying inquiry posed by the central figure in the Gospels. In articulating your ambition, it must be as fervent as the sentinel's yearning for the morning, just as my spirit yearns for you, O divine. It is the absence of this fervent orientation that hinders one from bridging the gap between mere yearning through thought and actual fulfillment through living from the end. This distinction is crucial. We must transition from contemplating the goal to embodying it in our thoughts. Reason alone could never achieve this, confined as it is to sensory evidence. But imagination, unshackled by such constraints, can. Desire is meant to be gratified in the realm of imagination. Through imagination, humankind transcends sensory limitations and the confines of rationality. The individual who can conceive from the endpoint is unstoppable. He crafts the means and forges a path from confinement to the expansive abodes of the divine. Irrelevant is what one was or what one is, all that is pertinent is what one aspires to be. He acknowledges that the world is an externalization of mental processes within. Thus, he endeavors to define and govern the outcomes from which he conceives in his imagination. He resides in the end mentally, assured that he will also occupy it in physical reality. He invests all his faith in the sensation of the fulfilled desire, living in allegiance to that state. For the craft of shaping destiny is akin to the mariner in his vessel. He readies himself for the currents of imagination, aware that every longing is a play easily directed by one versed in conceiving from the end. He is unaffected by mere logical likelihood, certain that through persistent imagination, his beliefs will crystallize into reality. Yet the challenge remains, how to convince people everywhere that living from the end is the quintessential way of life. How to integrate it into all human endeavors, unveiling it as the essence of living rather than a solace for the disillusioned. That is the quandary. Life is within our command. You can live out any experience once you recognize that you are the progeny, embodying what you are by the state of consciousness from which you engage and view the world. Child, you have been ever present with me, and all that is mine is yours. It is my hope that this video has served you well and imparted new knowledge. If it resonates with you, please don't hesitate to express your approval, share it with your circle so they too may gain from these insights. To keep evolving and learning, make sure to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to stay informed of fresh content. Furthermore, I invite your suggestions, inquiries, and feedback in the comments section below. Always bear in mind that knowledge is an invaluable treasure that remains undisturbed, and taking action is the pivotal step in actualizing our knowledge. So, take the initiative, apply what you have gleaned from today's discourse. Until our next exchange.